What's going on, Pokemon trainers? You have Trainer Connor here. It's time for a Wi-Fi battle. This is my very first battle here in Sword and Shield, believe it or not, and we're going to do it live because that's the only way we can do this. We're facing off against my awesome rival, Roseway. Be sure to go check out his YouTube channel because he's growing as a YouTuber over there. I'm also his editor as well. So, you can see my lineup. You'll get a better glimpse at it when we go to the battle screen, but we're facing off against Roseway. We're going to set the battle to level 50 once he sits, and the theme could be the Battle Tower. Alright, Flare, you and me, we've had so many battles in the past. And they're also on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check them out if you're interested, of course. You see that I have Ferrothorn, Ditto, Blastoise, which is Gigantamax, Hitmontop, Espeon, and Lycanroc. A very good lineup indeed. And then my opponent has a Sun team. Now I know a little bit about his team, but not a lot. I know he has a Sun team because that's what he was exploring or testing out rather. And I was like, okay, we'll see what we can do about it. So you can see that I'm selecting Ditto first, and I wasn't sure if I know my opponent, he would definitely start out with Ninetales or Lycanroc for Stealth Rocks. So that's what we're going to do. Start out with Ditto, and then we'll go from there. So TC 100 versus Flare. Here we go. This is going to be a great battle. I really appreciate the battles that I have against my awesome local rival. So you see that he does start out with Ninetales. With my Imposter ability, I will copy that Ninetales and I get to see what he is running as far as moves go. Alright, now if we have double Drought Ninetales, does that mean we can get double the Sun Power? I don't know, but we can see his movesets, and I'm like, okay, what's he gonna do? I'm not really sure, because he could go for the nasty plot predicting a switch, but I don't feel like switching out. As it turns out, he is the one that's going to switch. He's going to go into his Charizard. And I wasn't sure if this is going to be a Gigantamax Charizard or what, but I have to be prepared. This is a Choice Scarf Ditto, so I have to lock myself into one move or I have to switch out. I don't want to Dynamax because of course I have my Blastoise. So I'm thinking, what should I do here? Should I switch out? And like I said, I'm not really going to switch out, because why should I? Charizard is a threat. If he's going to Dynamax, I have to be there for that, be honest with him. He actually goes for the Scorching Sands, which I forgot about, but I managed to survive with 11 HP to spare. And he has the Solar Power as his ability, which is scary, but helpful as far as taking him out. I go for yet another Dark Pulse. That's the only move I can go for at this point. Why should I switch out? Because I know he's going to probably go for another ground type attack, or maybe a fire type move if he wants to do so, predicting the switch. He switches out again, which is fine, and that is actually a good play, because he probably knows I'm Choice Scarfed. So going to Venusaur with the Chlorophyll ability, that is something to consider. So I'm going to switch out and go into my freshly bred Ferrothorn named Thorn here, Thorn, the Ferrothorn, and see what he's going to go for. He goes for Earth Power, which is a brand new move that he learns in this generation. I'm not sure if he learned it previous generations, but as far as I know, he knows it in this generation. We do take that Earth Power really well because Ferrothorn, the build on it is specifically especially defensive, if I can say it right. It was a little bit of a tongue twister there. So I go for Spikes here with Ferrothorn because I see a lot of grounded Pokemon with the exception of Charizard. I knew he was going to switch out into Ninetales. That was a given. So I'm going to switch out and go into... what should we do here? It's really tough because, you know, in the end, I'm going to go for the Explosion. I really thought he was going to predict something else. So I'm going to stay in, just be honest, because I was going to go for the explosion. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. But that's not going to happen. So we lose Ferrothorn. That's fine. We go into Lycanroc here. And Lycanroc is pretty prominent in this generation because of priority Accelerock. Now here, as you can see, I was thinking of double switching because I'm pretty sure he knows the Accelerock is coming. And I'm like, okay, can I try getting up Stealth here? Because I do have it. It would be nice to get some chip damage to the Charizard, and that's what we're going to do. So I had several options. It was a matter of which one I should go for. And I regret doing this in a variety of ways. Sure, Stealth is great, combine that with Spikes, but I really should have put some chip damage onto the Rhyperior. That's going to come into play later on. You'll see. So here, I'm going to switch out and go into Disco the Hitmoncop. And this thing has Intimidate, which means that physical moves from the Rhyperior is going to do half. And as it turns out, he goes for the Earthquake. That's awesome. So, and it's funny because that did a lot more than I thought. I'm like, that's really how much it did? That's a little unfortunate. Alright, so Hitmoncop is in here. And I know he still has his Venusaur. Yes, his Charizard, which I really doubt he would switch into, knowing that he has Stealth Rocks to deal with. So at this point, I could go for Fake Out, but why would I do that with Rhyperior? He could switch out, but again, I want to be honest. I'm going to go for the close combat, even if he wants to bring in Venusaur. I would love the additional damage. That's all we can ask for, in reality. So my opponent is still thinking about his moves, what he should go for, and to be honest, I think going to Venusaur would be the right play, given the scenario that he's given. The way I said that, though, that was pretty interesting. But yeah, he goes for the switch out into Venusaur, and that is, again, a great move. Even though that did a lot of damage, this particular Hitmoncop does not have priority. He will outspeed me, I think. I don't know if the sun is up. It doesn't look like it, so if the sun was up, I think he would outspeed me. But since the sun isn't up, then I will outspeed it. So there you go. That is a nice advantage. But then I realized, oh, the sun is up. We actually thought that the sun was not up for some reason. So, I was playing that kind of game. I was like, is the sun up or not? Because, so that was a little unfortunate. But I am going to go into Lycanroc, and you might be asking, like, why are you going into Lycanroc? Well, we have a Accelerock for priority. I know I can take him out. But here, I predict him to switch. It's pretty obvious, right? Well, going for the Accelerock was probably the better option. So, because, I was close. I was close predicting him to switch. But at the same time, going for the Accelerock was the better play. He goes for the switching to Rhyperior now. And because of the Spikes and the Stealth Rocks, he's going to be taking a little bit of damage upon entry. Here, I'm going to sacrifice my Dillo. This way, I can get a free switch in to Blastoise. This way, I can Gigantamax safely. I don't have to worry about any entry hazards or any damage I might be fearing from the opposing Pokemon. And yay, I get to steal the shiny Rhyperior. Shiny Rhyperior looks really awesome in this generation. Not going to lie. So we sacrificed Dillo. Dillo did a really good job at the beginning, spoiling the moveset for Ninetales, which is really critical. And now we can go into Cannonball. Cannonball is, of course, my Gigantamax Blastoise. And I know he's going to probably switch into something like Venusaur or something else to resist. I have the Hailstorm, but I'm going to go for the safe water type move. It's Stab, it's boosted because of that, and yeah, we have Ferrothorn to deal with also. That is okay, because I have the Max Knuckle as well. Shout out to Aurasphere on that one. So we see me going for the Gigantamax in here. This is because we have the Isle of Armor. If you guys don't have the Isle of Armor, well, I don't know what you're thinking. You have a lot more access to the Gigantamax forms and whatnot, as well as the starter hidden abilities, Cinderace, Rillaboom, and Inteleon. So if you guys don't have the Isle of Armor or the Crown Tundra, which is coming by the way, you're missing out. So he switches out into Ferrothorn to resist the Cannonade, G-Max Cannonade I should say. And for the Ferrothorn we have the Max Knuckle. I'm really sure that this would KO it. But for some reason he lives with like 1 HP or 2 HP. I would have loved it to KO the Ferrothorn because all this extra damage is going to cost me. So, and the good news is that the G-Max Cannonade was able to knock it out, but the Power Whip really put a hurting onto my Gigantamax Blastoise. Alright, so my opponent is thinking of his next Pokemon. He is going to switch into his Ninetales. Gonna take a lot of spikes and Stealth Rock coming in. And I'm like, that's great. But at the same time, Drought is back in action. That is what you get for a Sun team. And right here, I'm thinking, okay, I know the sun is up. He is going to outspeed me anyway. I should be able to live it, and then I can put another G-Max Cannonade on this Ninetales. And hopefully we can KO it. If not, that would be unfortunate. So let's see how much damage this does. Oh, yes. So, that critical hit, I don't know if it mattered or not. It was in the sun. It had almost half HP. I'm going to say it kind of did, but at the same time, I didn't really do calculations whatsoever. So, the critical hit might have mattered. I don't know. But we're going to move on with it. He's going to go into Sunset now. His Lycanroc, which I question on that. Because, yes, I'm at low HP, but I should be able to live in a Starter Rock from where I'm at. I should. I mean, this is a bulky Blastoise. But I'm going to consider my options. Nope, not switching out is going to happen. So we're going to go for the Aura Sphere and see if we can KO the Lycanroc. And yes, like I said, Lycanroc is very popular. It's very OU-like. Of course, because of the whole Asara Rock action that it gets. And we see him going for the Dynamax here. I was like, okay, now we know who's the Dynamax Pokemon. He goes for the, what's that move? Rockfall, the G-Max, or no, Max Starfall. Okay, he goes for the Fairy type move, which I question. I guess it really doesn't matter because of where I'm at. I would have gone for the rock type move, but either way, he goes for that fairy type move, Max Starfall. I got that mixed up with the Rockfall move, so, they're very similar, but, it's all good. And you see that the Cannonade is still in effect. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I only have Espeon and Lycanroc left. I'm going to go into Espeon and chip away at it. I have Psychic. I also have Reflect and Light Screen. So at this point, going for Reflect first would be beneficial, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for the Reflect. I have the Light Clay, which means that it's going to boost its status up to 8 turns instead of 4. And now we see the G-Max Rockfall, and that's going to do not as much. That is really good, because at this point in time, I'm going to go for the Psychic. And this is where I really should have, because yes, I'm going to take out the Lycanroc and whatnot, but if I had more damage onto the Rhyperior, I would have probably taken him out. And this is a critical hit, by the way, and I'm like, oh man, not getting that much damage for a critical hit. You go for the Max Darkness here, and yes, that's going to KO me. That is going to KO me. Experience, you did your best. So, like I said, I wish I had more damage onto the Rhyperior, because yes, I have Lycanroc here. I could go for the the priority move. It's not resisted, which is nice. I am faster because I have the Jolly Nature, whereas my opponent Ruins told me that it's an Adamant build on his side. So we should be able to KO the Viking Rock. Oh no! We have to deal with the Charizard. And he's gonna sack it. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna sack it. Of course he's gonna do that. Of course. It's very obvious, right? Yeah. So at this point, my opponent could go into Rhyperior. And then hopefully I can live a Earthquake. I have the Focus Sash. But man, you can see that having extra damage onto the Rhyperior would have been nice from earlier when I mentioned it. I am forced to go for Crunch. I mean, I can't go for a Solar Rock. It won't really do anything. So, yes, Earthquake number 1. I live with about 10 HP there. That's pretty good. I didn't have to activate my Focus Sash, and you can see that my opponent was thinking, are you Choice Scarf? Because you might be, but nope, I am Focus Sash. So, unfortunately, this is my last Pokemon. I would KO this Rhyperior had he had more HP, or less HP rather, and then go for the Asara Rock again. I would have probably won against Ruin's Way. But Ruin's Way wins this battle. That was a really fun match. I appreciate you for the battle, my friend. We're going to have more in the future. Now that we're doing the Pokemon tournament at King Kong's, our local Pokemon tournament that we have over there, King Kong's. It's very nice to have us do battles on a weekly basis. We're going to have some really fun matches. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle, and with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.